our flag shall be a symbol that truth and justice reign. In peace, hold back to honor, and this we can't escape. To hang on to our children, our banner without stain. Oh God of all creation, grant these our one request. Help us to build a nation when no man is oppressed, and so in peace and plenty, Nigeria may be blessed.
If you want to.
As from now we proclaim, from hills and valleys we come, to draw from the stream of knowledge. Our duty is to succeed in learning and service. Excellence is our goal. Ahmadu, Bello University, yeah, our dreams we shall achieve. We give thanks to Almighty Allah, in Him we derive our strength. We dutifully shall abide by the ways of good learning. North to south, east to west, your name shall always be. Ahmadu, Bello University, a citadel of great learning.
Thank you very much. We may all sit. And ladies and gentlemen, once again, you're welcome. And quickly, next item on the agenda is opening remarks and welcome address by the center leader, African Center of Excellence for Neglected Tropical Diseases and Forensic Biotechnology, Professor Waiki Ibrahim. Please put your hands together for him while he comes forward.
Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, English deans and directors, other guests and invitees. It is indeed a great coming to this commission ceremony, which is long overdue. The African Center of Excellence for Neglected Tropical Disease and Forensic Biotechnology was established in 2014 with funding from the World Bank under the World Bank-sponsored African Centers of Excellence project. The postgraduate degree program of the center are hosted by the Department of Biochemistry, while some of its are hosted by the Center for Biotechnology Research and Training. Researchers from 8 other departments in the university are involved in the teaching and research of the center. Under the H1 project, several activities were carried out by the center. There was the rehabilitation of the Center for CBRT and equipping its laboratory facilities. There was establishment of forensic lab and its equipment at the Department of Biochemistry, establishment of forensic classroom in the Department of Biochemistry, rehabilitation and establishment of hostel for foreign female students, which we will see later on. The national and international accreditation of MSc and PhD program was also carried out, and it is interesting to say that this is the first time an ABU program is being given international accreditation. There's also equipment of laboratory facility in the Department of Zoology. And of course, the establishment of the animal research facility, which we will also take a short visit to. A renewal grant was also obtained by the center in 2019, which was 5 million, making the total of the grant from the World Bank 9.7 million from 2014 till date. The center have graduated 49 MSc students and 6 PhD, with current enrollment of 90 students, composed of 68 MSc and 22 PhD, with regional enrollment of 38. We have graduated students from the Gambia, Cameroon, and Burkina Faso. Currently, we have students that spans all the way from Côte d'Ivoire, Niger, Chad, Gambia, Cameroon. The researchers and administrative technical staff of the university have benefited. In fact, as of today, between 2019 and to date, 56 staffs of the university have been sponsored to attend one international training or workshop or the other. Many researchers have been sponsored to present and research output. This does not include those that were sponsored in the country. It is currently developing a new forensic science have already been fully resource verified and given approval by the National University Commission. We currently have about 16 collaborations, 5 within the West African region, 5 in Europe and Asia, besides 10 others within the country. Besides the grants from, have also been able to attract various funds and grants to the university, which is being managed by the center. There is the NRF under the third fund grant. 2 teams of the center actually obtained in 2022 and 2021 the grants totaling about $200. One was led by the deputy center leader and the other by my humble self. There is also the Transsugar Initiative grant granted to Dr. Ahmadu, which amounts to $818,000. And that is actually one of the highest single grant by an individual in this university. There is also African Postdoctoral Training Initiative grant, which you had also, that amount to $626,000, making the total grant that to this chap attracted about $1.4 million between the periods. There is another grant by Professor Emmanuel Bello from the National Institute of Health under the K43, which amounts to $576,000. The Erasmus grant, based on the collaboration between the center and the University of Bremen, there was the Erasmus Mobility Grant that allowed students of the center to move to youth facilities in some of the German universities, to which 9 of our students actually went to the University of Bremen and carried out their bench work. Of course, we also had another case in which the University of Nagasaki, which some of our students also went to Japan and carried out their laboratory work. We have recently also a grant by a researcher from Kogi State University, now Prince Abdullah University, which used this center as the host team. Which is to the tune of $1,000. We have in the past also hosted researchers, not only from Nigeria, but one from Ahmadu University in Cairo and one from National Biotechnology Center in Zimbabwe. The center's involvement in combating COVID-19 epidemics in Nigeria through establishment of COVID-19 testing facility at the center, which this had actually happened at the early part of 2019-2020, we were able to establish a COVID testing center and make it functional within 10 days. This was the highest, the quickest facility that was established. And in addition to that, The center also helped University to establish its own COVID testing center in Tulewadan, Kaduna, and we trained their staff to also engage in testing for COVID cases. We've also, as a result of that, our participation, the International Atomic Energy Agency gave equipment worth 73,000 euros to the center and also assisted the center with some equipment for research and facility on trypanosomiasis. Its collaboration with the Institute of Tropical Medicine, Nagasaki University, through Professor M. Shaibu, led to the donation of a highly valued luminous multiplex analyzer by Nagasaki University to the center, and the upgrading of the collaboration between the two centers to inter-university level. The ICT facilities of the center is currently being used by the university community for actual conferences, lectures, and external examination. Plans are underway to acquire more analytical state-of-art equipment for the forensic lab, which will enhance the forensic training facility of the center. I will give you a list of some of the forensic equipment that are already available here, which are non-existent in any Nigerian institution. Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir, I must appreciate you and your administration for making possible these few achievements the center has recorded, particularly from 2019 to date. Your administration provided the enabling environment for the center to execute its activities. You did not directly or indirectly interfere in the administration of the center, but rather you be supportive, encouraging, and provided all needed assistance that have resulted in what you see today. The center desires still further assistance or support from the university. One of its aids is the need to fully integrate the center into the university structure and organograph. It is only logical that you commission this structure, which you are part and parcel of, and which is part of your legacy in this great institution. We sincerely value the support given to the center by the National University Commission, who all these years have coordinated the ACE programs in the various universities. Our collaborating partners who provided internship opportunity for our students, mentors, and other technical professionals support, we say thank you. I also want to thank the members of the center, the researchers and administrative staffs, my highly regarded staffs and researchers of the Department of Biochemistry, the Center for Biotechnology Research and Training, and indeed other collaborating departments and units in this university for getting us here. These achievements would not have been possible without your cooperation and immense support. This welcome address will not be complete without paying tribute to the man who initiated the emergence of the center, late Professor Andrew the two secretary to rest in peace. I cannot afford to forget my other ACENTDFB founding colleagues, Professor K.K.B. Kwaga, Professor H.M. Inua, Professor Ayasinda, Professor Hussein Ajemaku, Professor Mohammed Ham, and Professor Junaid Kabir, who have ensured that the center continues to keep to its mandate. Thank you. Agode, Ishe, Alu, Alo.
Thank you very much, sir. Professor Wajiri is indeed a Nigerian. And sir, I think having had all the achievement of the center right from inception to 2014, right from its inception in 2014 to date, I think I'm beginning to doubt the credibility of the Times Higher Education ranking for placing ABU second. I think these researches can only be found in ABU. So, ABU is the best public university. In fact, ABU is the best university in Nigeria. No two ways about it. Please put your hands together for ABU. Thank you. And quickly, ladies and gentlemen, before the next item on the agenda, may I recognize the presence of the Director of PP and MS, Architect Suleiman Mohammed. You're welcome, sir. And then also the Communications Officer of the Center, Dr. Murjanatu Mohammed Abba. And next on the agenda is address and remarks by the Vice Chancellor. So as I was saying, ladies and gentlemen, doubting the credibility of the Times Higher Education ranking, I think if I doubt something like that for placing ABU second. I am not mistaken because these researches mentioned by Professor Waiki are only found in ABU. So in Nigeria, you will not be mistaken if you say that there are only two universities in Nigeria, ABU and others. And if you have attended ABU, even if it is a one-week course, count yourself lucky. Because if, in fact, coming to ABU is like a going for pilgrimage. Thank you, sir.
Don't get tired of hearing about ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I think the center leader has mentioned all the. I'm sorry, I was mentioned all the important milestones of this project. It has been a very, very useful project to the university. What you did mention is the ACE2 has come to close, and but the project will continue. Some funding has also been continued. And I think we have achieved important milestones. You didn't also mention the patents that 10 patents were registered by the ACENT. We didn't clap, that is but I don't think it's a small achievement.
And 8 of them were in Germany.
But why is that they don't discuss? They didn't come here. I should want to talk to you later. So this is what we want. What we did was to target when we started, when we were counting the patents in universities. We looked for patents in every one. I think with every page 2 or 3, which was actually not the correct, but normal over time. But that was the record that we had at that time. So we said, well, now we should target at least 10 patents per annum, which is very, very modest. Because we can, I think we can register up to 50 patents in every per annum. Also, we work hard. I know that conditions are difficult. It is easy for us because we have funding. Other places may not have this kind of funding to work. But I think if we work hard, we can register 50 patents in every. Other universities are doing it. Individuals are registering 3, 4, 5 patents at university. Now the center, this building, a very fantastic building. Tell you a little bit of history. The center leader wanted the building here. And with my little knowledge of the university, I knew that before the completion of the review of the master plan, that this area is engineering, phase 3. Even those buildings of biochemistry and the hostel are actually encroaching. Engineering phase 3. If I was there, I was down to notice So I said, center leader, please, I begged him. I said, please, let's try to recover what we could for the engineering faculty, because they still have a lot to do. They have, I think, up to 7 new departments or 8. Yes. Electrical engineering is built into 3. Communication and computer engineering, electrical engineering. Mechanical engineering is built into 3 also, automotive, mechanical engineering. Mining engineering came to metallurgical. There's biomedical engineering, there's robotic engineering that are coming, I know those ones. So they need their space, in fact, they need more space. And then, of course, the other alternative is to move to phase 2. But that would be very inconvenient. Now the whole faculty of engineering is around phase 2, and then it's phase 2 moves 1 or 2 departments go to. And they have many things in common, so they are staying in one place. So eventually, the people, the director of the state, allocated this site, which I think is very, very beautiful, fantastic. After the building has been constructed, very, very only thing I complain, because I like complaining about site and the landscape, is that it's close to our water course. We try to avoid building close to water course for 2 or 3 reasons. One, increasing the effective shade, water shade of the dam. So the amount of water going to our dam will be reducing. As long as we continue building close to the water course, we'll be reducing the amount of water that actually ends up in the dam. Two, we'll be reducing the amount of biodiversity on the campus, which we are trying to increase. And three, siltation. Human activity increases siltation, and then eventually end up in the dam too. Also reducing the effect quantity or the amount of water, volume of water in the dam. So then I think explanation they have done around there to reduce that effect. And so the building is a fantastic building. I have worked not as a scientist, as the director and center leader said, to center closely. And I'm happy to have worked with a group of scientists. Extremely hard work. Yesterday I had an interview. I think yesterday there was some media people came. I said, I'm very proud of the quality of scientists we have in ABU. They asked me my dream. I said my dream is to have a Nobel Prize in ABU. And by the grace of God, I want to have a Nobel Prize in ABU. Whether we will look to see it or not, I don't know. But I said I have a dream. I think that dream is going to one day that will have a Nobel Prize in ABU. And from the activities of these centers, scientists, and other units of the university, I think we're on the right course. So congratulations, the center, congratulations, APU, congratulations, Nigeria, because some of these patents are not only for APU. I was reading the one statistics about the number of patents registered by countries around the world. And so if these patents will go to the National Statistics Data Center, so it will now count as patents registered by Nigeria. I think we should do that also. And, so it's not only for ABU, but for the country. And we should try as much as possible to carry these patents, the ultimate, that's to product, and then we commercialize them. I know also there's an initiative going on, the Federal Leader Didn't mention.
Yes, sir.
It's important.
I think, because we try to be modest, and actually, because of time, I actually don't go to a page. We have been invited to have a discussion with Attila, the company where they are the manufacturer of cubic spectrophotometer. If you know that is one of the latest, one of the new advancements over the nano drops spectrophotometer. We will have a discussion with them, and in the next 2 months, some of us will be visiting to see how some of our patents they can provide a platform, and we're trying to join production of some of the patents that we are going to commercialize. And it's just one of them. And also, there may be sorry, because as I said, we are modest, but the first student innovation grant that was hosted by the Association of African Universities in the Gambia. Our center was the only center that had 2 awards. All other centers, of course, our sister center also here recently had 1. But out of the 12 awards that were given, ABU had 3, 2 from the center. In the big presentation that took place in our research lab, there were only 12 for the whole Africa. We presented 2 of our big presentations were selected for presentation in that case. So even in the recent case in Accra, you will recall that we are the only center that was approved to have 5 exhibitions. All of us were 1.
I know we are more than generally because you see these are records. And the problem is there's no documentation. We have to have a report somewhere. No, this is just a speech. So we should document this in a report somewhere. Something like this, I think, or something else. For records. Now, for instance, what I mentioned some years back, we are looking for veterans recently. But if we have something like this, I documented somewhere. So, my last comment is now that the project funding has ended, although there are talks about CESA projects, but nothing has been confirmed. I think I will call on all our scientists, not only in the center, but as well in the center for sustainability, to increase our research grants applications. I have mentioned some of the successes. We have quite a number of people who have attracted grants because I think it's time to increase efforts towards this direction, especially because funding from upfront will stop, as the case may be. We have mentioned this, university responsibilities to the university. I think we started talking on other sustainability that will continue. Then the structure is standing now to manage the structure of the centers into the main university. I think that is noted, and I'm sure the university will put it. And it should very soon, it should be part of the sustainability plan. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Please once again put your hands together for the Vice Chancellor. The Vice Chancellor believes that the university wins the Nobel Prize, and we pray that by the providence of God, sir, we live to see that dream actualized. And ladies and gentlemen, quickly, before the next item on the agenda, may I recognize the presence of the representative of the registrar, Dr. Aliyu Elhakankia. Dr. Aliyu Elhakankia is also the Director of Academic Affairs. You're welcome, sir. And we also have the engineer, the head of ABU Waterworks, Engineer Hussein Ismaila. You're welcome, sir. And quickly, ladies and gentlemen, next is a vote of thanks by the Deputy Leader, Professor Mohammed Mahmoud. Thank you, yes. Vice Chancellor, sir. We did this is other principal office of the university. Let's cut it short, the protocol. Deans and directors and simply contribute to distinguished ladies and gentlemen. You are welcome to this occasion of commissioning ACENTDFB's Administrative Center. Is going to be done by the Vice Chancellor. This vote of thanks is rather short. Only one very message. It thanks Vice Chancellor for able support he has given the time he came into the office up to this day. I'm very thankful to the Vice Chancellor because he has given immense support in all ways you can think of. What's this the elevation of the dream of the center, especially this building, which, as I said before, going to be commissioned by him. That's my only message to vote of thanks. But in addition to the Vice Chancellor, we thank everybody here and even elsewhere has been contributing to the activities. Thank you very much.
Now we will quickly go when the Vice Chancellor unveils the plaque. We go around to look at the various facilities within the center, and a short trip to the animal house where some of our vaccine research activities are carried on, and the foreign student wholesaler on our way out of the building. So, Mr. Vice Chancellor, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, having listened to speeches from our prominent personalities here, now the main event of the day, the commissioning of the building proper. And then may I invite the Vice Chancellor and then all other invited guests for the commissioning of the building. Vice Chancellor.
It's my honor to commission this building today. Today 23rd, in the name of God Almighty.
Let's clap for the Vice Chancellor. Okay.
This building was commissioned by the Vice Chancellor Ahmadu Bello University.
Thank you. Sir, this is the mission and vision statement of the center. Yes. Our vision is to be a reference institute for the prevention, control, and eradication of tropical diseases. And we hope and which we are ready to provide inevitably for addressing problems of neglect, tropical disease, and limited use, and its impact on the socio-economic and health status of the community in developed countries. This makes us to be broad-based. In our center, we require lawyers, archaeologists, historians, sociologists, because once neglect, tropical diseases, it is all encompassing. Yeah, because for them to manage their money. And so, as you are going, you will see some of the exhibitions, the products that are already actually registered, patented, which we made exhibition in Accra. You will see some of them. And most of these ones were works done by our students. This one was a research work funded partly by the National Research Fund, in which we have graduated 1 PhD and 3 masters, and it's already patented. So I think let's go up and count down. Or do we stay? Ibrahim. Okay. So this is okay. This is one other research work. Because this one allows us to now be able to provide a template for treating wounds. Because we now cannot produce some of these facilities. This is still that aids in wound healing. This is actually unique. Yes, sir. Because we got this, we developed it from pineapple paste, which is a waste product. So this one is a problem that is actually common with pregnant women that are infected by the organism. It can be transmitted by some of our domestic animals like that. And it can lead to congenital abnormalities. Where is our medical doctor? Because you understand it. So now, yeah. So with this, even at the very early stage, we can actually detect it and take preventive measures. So this part of the product that we're trying to develop So this is again the work carried out by one of our PhD students from the community. And we can now diagnose the rabies because some of the diagnostic tests are only 50-60% sensitive, but our own is 99% sensitive, which is very unique in our own environment, especially in West Africa. This is the one that has already been marketed. This one is actually a product in the case of tachypnea. People abandoned it because they tried before they could not isolate and crystallize this compound. We have now been able to do that. So these are some of our classrooms. All our classrooms have the smart board, and I think some of you are aware of that. With the smart board, you can actually be teaching online and downloading and showing the students while you are teaching. And you can save your lecture online. You can actually use your finger to draw on the board and save. And so students are very comfortable. We call them executive students anyway. You can see me. So this is the blue, blue, and this is the second. We've been hosting a lot of events, lecture events. Why, if that is occupied totally, we use the old system. We have a projector, overhead projector. You can students can do their seminar because what we do. Our system here, we don't rely on NEPA. We have 24-hour service. We have the solar, the car park you see, they are all filled up with solar panels. And therefore, we don't, at any point in time, there is 24 hours power supply. The capacity of our inverter and battery is actually 60 kilowatts. We only use about 10.
I think I better when I'm supposed to be thinking of is very
No, the others have not seen it. So every activity that is taking place here, we see it. Even on the roof, as you are approaching the building, we see you. And you've recorded. That's recorded. We can play more than 6 months back. Every event that has taken place. These are offices. This is the administrative officer office. Why do this? And this is the deputy center office. Okay, you don't want to open it up. No problem. This is because it's a BI. No, this is sanitary. Okay. Then we have 2 offices for visiting researchers. Right now we have 1 visiting researcher for available from this research location. So those who are visiting and doing their research, we provided them offices here. And this is our so yes, this is our when you are for the last room, take your tea, watch television, and It is
I want
Thank you for that.
Yes, please ask go, but you can go ahead.
Ibrahim, you are following us before.
But currently we are housing the furniture for Directorate of Research and Innovation. So here we simulate crime situations and change it for internal, and we use the outside for external crime scenes and record this and use it to train people in giving evidence. Please let's move to the. We have to be fast because they have other programs. Let's go, please. Let's move here.
Check the power officer.
You must want office.
So please let them come first, because they are issues we need to teach about. Please come in. We are now in the forensic lab. We have 2 forensic lab facilities. Wait. The issue here, because we try to ensure that there is maximum security. If you don't have anything to do, you cannot enter the lab. Unless, for example, it has stored your fingerprint before, even if you put it to open the door, it will not open. So there are 3 things that are here that for you to enter. It can take the snapshot of your ID to recognize it before the door opens, or you can take your fingerprint before the door opens, or you can use a code. The code which changes. Then, if you know the code, then you can put in the code, and that's when the door can open. Open that.
Are this stored for audit purposes? Entry, anybody who opens. Is this stored anywhere?
No, in the first instance,
for any reason you want
in the first instance, if you are not, you have
that
not
is
paid.
that is
So once you do this, it's not, it's recorded.
that incident.
Yes,
Is recorded. But for any reason you want to nobody enter, you want to check.
the law.
Yeah. So this one of the last, this is minus 86 degrees centigrade rate for storing of a sample.
Very good to be here.
No, it's not using nitrogen. It's just using ordinary, and it works with an inverter.
There's key.
So which means the
No, it's locked.
power, the power.
All this contains some of the samples. Some of the samples will actually, the COVID samples are all still here. So each time we've been able to actually sequence 32 of those COVID samples which we used in 2019. So if there are issues, we can always go back and to check. Yes. This is for automatic nucleic acid extractor. This automatic nucleic acid extractor. So automatic microscope. Yeah, of course. There's this other microscope. But let's open in some of the issues last year.
Since we are not fully kitted.
Yeah, no, we are not yet. We are not going to make a we use it for. So this we use it for working on that unit. Because you can only open this and put your hand and work with it. It's the laminar. Yes, two. So, and this now. It's automatic. No, it's just it cuts it. Yes, it cuts it straight. Yeah, of course that's part of the thing. Because this is it's not yet fully. It's in the other lab.
No problem.
No, we have a laser machine in the CBRT, the diagnostic lab. Okay, yes.
It's not very clear.
No, we can go there. I can take you there. I can take you there. Now, here you can actually treat your sample. For example, you take a film, you can process it and now bring out the fingerprint, which you can analyze. This is also used for drying of your samples, for correcting samples. There are two different things. And here is for analyzing your bullet. Which gun fires a particular bullet. This is what we call ballistic comparison microscope.
So you're going to just flat it now.
Yes. This is a perfluorescent microscope. And now this is a camera. But this camera is equipped with UV and IR light. That even in the night, it can take pictures. Then this is for light source. Like when there's an entire track or shoe track, you can use this because it can give you different light and now show the prints against the other background, which you can now use your camera to take the picture.
Yes. That's serious.
So actually, we are collaborating. We are trying to establish collaboration with Nigerian Institute for Security Studies for the mounting of our forensic program. So this is a part of our system. We have placed order for equipment that is twice this number. Yes. No, yes, this is.
You want them to take some to the teacher?
What you have there is that your samples will be recorded. When you bring your sample, it will be received there, recorded before it is brought to the lab.
To communicate today.
Some of us have been to the animal house before, so maybe we just go to the boat there. Now, because my director, my dean of become aware of that.
We hope it will be incorporated.
International corner.
Bayro nani yau? Zan yi amfani da shi.